town was inside Ranma all along, and
So true.
you're all unmuted now. Welcome everyone to another fun and exciting session of Nexus Forlorn Legacy. I am the DM of this campaign, Obsidia, and as is tradition, we are going to do around the table introductions before a brief session recap, and then we jump right into the action. So first up, we got Peculiar Little Rabbit.
Hello everyone. My name is Peculiar Little Rabbit, but you can call me Beatrix or B. I do a variety of stuff, but I tend to focus on digital artwork, roguelikes, and RPGs the most. Currently, I am in a whole bunch of different campaigns, most of which will have episodes streamed sometime this week. I also run a Deadlands campaign, which is this alternate history, fantasy, horror, Wild West thing that's on Thursday night and has Obsidia as a player.
Huzzah.
I'm currently trying to do a CCV push to just increase general watchers, but that's a slow and steady thing. But if you want to hear me do funny and or sexy things with my voice, or see a silly little game about horny little furries, then you'll have to swing by to find out more about that. Most of that isn't important tonight, though. What's important is that I'm going to be playing Feng Chin Wong. I am a hobgoblin artificer and a future revolutionary of society. The pleasure is yours.
Thank you, B. We've got revolutionary girl Feng Tian over here. um, next up, we have Maris.
Hello, I'm Maris Orim. I am a Celestial Dragon VTuber. I specialize in reading cozy ASMR streams. We read books, we talk literature. It's a great time. I also run my own campaign as well, The Trial of Hearts. It's an ode to all things romantic fantasy. I play that every other Wednesday. And yeah, if you love politics and shenanigans and romances gone awry, definitely check it out. It's a ridiculous time and I love it very much. But while I am here, I play Soleil, the party's hot pink fae tiefling werewolf himbo, who is definitely not sad. Don't worry about it. He's fine.
How could he
I
ever be
fixed
sad?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
fixed him last session.
That's right. He got to cuddle with the sheep. He's fine.
He literally counted sheep before bed.
Mhm.
Jacket, dude.
Thank you, Maris. Next up, we got Sif.
Hi. That's me. Hi. I'm Sif underscore VTuber, living suit of armor, artist, gamer, silly guy. I've recently come back from like a week-long break of like everything. So streams are coming up again. It's just gonna be art and games and working on models and stuff. I also run Curse of Strahd, and I'm part of a bunch of campaigns with these guys. Please go check it out. I love them very much. You have to look at them and appreciate them. And I'm here to play as Nafisa, silly little dragonborn girl with her pet dog Nyx. And yeah, I love you guys. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Sif. And last but never least, we've got Lily.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lily. I am an aspiring artist that draws a lot of D&D stuff, including lots of characters both from this campaign as well as other campaigns that I am in. I also run my own D&D campaign, Mistwalker Spectrum of Eternity. There are currently 5 episodes of that up on my YouTube, featuring some of the lovely players here, such as Sif and Maris. But very excited to be here playing my little sheep girl, Aurora. She's also doing great. I mean, we're all like a little bundle of some kinds of trauma, right? It's just a matter of working through it. So it'll go well tonight, I'm sure.
Imagine being traumatized in 2025.
Imagine what could possibly be bad enough to traumatize somebody in 2025.
Yeah, for reals. And then, of course, Obsidia. As kind of a brief announcement, this will be the second to last Nexus session for the next few months. as I am having surgery done on May 9th, and so I will not be able to talk for a while afterwards and generally go through the recovery process of intensive surgery. So we're going to be on break again for a few months while I recover, and then we'll come back stronger and gayer than ever, hopefully in late summer. So there's just a little note about that. Also, previously on, our plucky group of adventurers finally returned to the city of Vennonia, where they began to experience the wonders of industrialized life again. After breathing so much clean air and sunshine, they returned to pollution and perpetually hazy skies in the lower spires of the great city of Vennonia, the city of birds. The newly acquired companion Omega was experiencing the full extent that is a Federation city and all of its downsides that come with its industrial outlook, before our group of heroes eventually made their way back up to the upper spires of the city and the Montagna di Drago, the estate where their employers, the Ladies of Light, reside in, otherwise known as the Dragon Moms. As they were approaching it, Soleil began to notice Omega acting a little odd as a living nanomachine swarm can be, as their body was seemingly reacting to something as they got closer and closer to the mansion itself, their skin beginning to rise and fall almost like, sound bars, as they were reacting to the environment around them. Once they got into the mansion, the party was debriefed by Zelik, who, their trusty little kobold handler, who was very skeptical about our party's adventures up till this point, and the bringing of Omega, and the confirmation on their part that Omega was in fact the weapon that was being sought in the first place by NexCor. And as Zelik went to report it to their bosses, they were asked to come into the central meeting chamber itself. And while there, Omega just immediately went berserk and turned from their normal humanoid form into full-on just blue swarm of sand as they started rushing towards the Dragon Moms. Nafisa and Soleil tried to grab them out of the air and had parts of their skin dissolved and removed off of them. Spells were failing as they contacted it, but thankfully for everyone involved, the Dragon Moms quickly displayed a burst of intense arcane energy and contained Omega inside of a small ball of force. And after the party's pleading that normally they're not like this, the moms handed the ball to the party to deal with, as they said they needed to review this current situation. After leaving it, Omega eventually was released from the ball and reformed back into their form and apologized to the party for their behavior. They don't know necessarily why it happened, but they do quote-unquote feel bad about it. And so with that, the party took some time to go kind of decompress in the city, going about their own ways as they had the night to kind of think about everything that had happened and what they'll do next. The Nafisa and Aurora went down to the lower spires and some of the factories down there, and as Aurora was drawing and Nafisa taking pictures, they talked about positivity in the face of capitalistic hellscape and kind of friendship and hope for the future. And then as they were returning, everyone else was kind of vibing, and when they all met back up together, Soleil and Aurora had a little heart-to-heart in their room at night, where Aurora asked to see the monster within Soleil and still loved him anyways, and it was very cute and tender before the sheep fell asleep on top of this giant abomination. While that was occurring, Nafisa, Fontaine, and Omega were sharing a room. Omega was just kind of staring off into the distance as they talked about the issue of putting people down if they ever tried to kill each other, etc. And Omega said that they would likely never do that again, having failed the first time. And they proceeded to go to sleep while Fontaine finished her secret project. To the next morning, it was revealed that the secret project was little gifts for everybody, little clothing that Fontaine decided to give each member of the party something that she had thought that they would like, with little symbols and color schemes tied to her to show that she cares and somewhat as an apology for any miscommunications that may have occurred. After everyone enjoyed this, the party received a sending spell from Zelik, asking them to report back to the Dragon Bomb estate for kind of a follow-on for what happened yesterday. So that is where we're going to jump back in on things. So, Plucky Group Adventures, what do you do?
I think we make our way back.
Thank you so much for the gifts again, Fung.
Of course.
I'll be sure to try on mine a bit later. And would it be all right for me to wear something like this in Well, I guess it'd be fine. Just want to make sure that it's all good.
Yes, I see no reason. I did not make anyone culturally exclusive clothing.
Soleil has taken his shirt that you made him, and it's pristinely folded, and he's trying to like wrap the paper that wrapped it like back into like a pristine like package.
Okay, let's go back to our what's the professional term? Employers? Yeah, let's go see Lady Stella and Lady Celeste so they can tell us where to go next.
Yeah, probably shouldn't keep them waiting.
Okay. With that, you guys return to the estate. This time when you return, there are a lot more dragonboarded lizard folk guards deployed. And you guys, instead of it just being Zelik there's actually a bit of an entourage of guards with Zelik.
Oh, you have so many more friends now, Zelik. Hi.
There are additional security precautions in light of the events that transpired yesterday.
That's
Made quite a first impression then, huh?
Indeed.
perfectly understandable.
You do notice standing next to Zelik is a very well-dressed armored dragonborn, with like a halberd that is definitely wearing magical arms and armor. He's got more of a humanoid face, kind of like how Zelik has more of a humanoid face, but with little blue scales, and like blue or yellow horns coming kind of backwards on his head, very much like they're slanting back. And he's got a long blue draconic tail. He's quite clearly a blue dragonborn. Spoiler alert. He's very well dressed. He's got a long purple and silver like cape, and of course the heart-shaped symbol of the dragon moms like on his armor plates, and he's standing next to her. And so, with that, Zelik looks up at him and says,
All right, I think it's time that we go meet with the ladies.
You will understand, of course, as she looks over at you guys, that we'll have a bit more precautions around your newfound companion than we had yesterday.
Of course.
Are you okay with that, Omega?
My feelings on the or our feelings on the matter are frankly irrelevant. We will not change the security situation through our own desires.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
how-
it's still. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna. You finish your thing. I was gonna ask Obs, the DM, a question.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay to still express your feelings about something you can't do anything about.
We find it to be an inefficient waste of time to simply voice these things into the ether without appropriate solutions to the particular issues.
That's okay. But if you ever decide to try it, feel free to, okay?
If we ever feel like wasting time, you will be the first we speak to.
Oh, we love wasting time with friends.
What was your question, Maris?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask how Omega's looking. Like, are they still
They're not doing the thing they were doing
a little
yesterday.
funky?
Yeah,
Cool,
they're not.
cool,
they're
cool.
not. They're not vibrating.
No vibing, got it.
Yep. They seem to be back to a very stoic external demeanor. And Azelic and the chief looking dragonborn lead you in. All the kobolds very much kind of look up at you guys as you pass and whisper to each other, like, "Oh, this is like the big gossip in the house is what went down yesterday, and seeing you guys back in here again." And then you get to the large audience chamber, and Zelik will, of course, enter first with the blue dragonborn, and it looks to be probably 4 more dragonborn and lizard folk guards who are specifically positioned around Omega. And as the doors open, the dragon moms are sitting there or standing there, and they have actually a fair amount more flair than they did yesterday. Like, they already wear like tons of jewelry and gems and stuff, like in their hair, on their horns, and all over their body and everything. But they actually have like very like not necessarily like consistent, like it's very nice quality like jewelry and things, but these don't really mesh with their aesthetic as much, which, just because the dragons are shapeshifters, that probably implies that these other like jewels are probably like actual items that they're wearing right now, that you can only presume, because trying to do a detect magic in this environment is kind of a futile endeavor because of the sheer amount of magical energy. They're probably more magical protections on them. So whatever happened, there is at least some level of concern by the moms.
You look very shiny.
Oh no, you don't.
And with that, Lady Celeste will chime in and say, "We have thought about what occurred yesterday, and we certainly have a piqued curiosity about the nature of this thing that you have brought to our doorsteps."
Well, that's a good thing, and I mean, it seems like everybody's at least a bit more ready than things were yesterday. So we appreciate you.
Yeah, including Omega themselves. Like, you're doing all right.
We believe we are behaving more appropriately, given the venue and attendees.
Much better. Keep it up.
You certainly seem more in control, though. I wonder if that is simply a matter of experience now or something else.
And Omega just says, "We believe we have analyzed the issue that occurred, and after thorough discussion amongst us, we believe we have an appropriate route forward. It was enlightening in its own way, even if it may have been concerning to the people present."
That's good.
Both of the dragon mobs kind of arch up an eyebrow, Lady Stella will say, "Well, then it pleases us greatly to know that you are so at ease after your incident." a little feistily.
I assure you, don't take much to be able to read me to see that I'm not at ease right now.
We're referring to the thing that you've brought.
Oh, right.
Well, Omega isn't shaking, there is no goo, things are okay, yeah?
Omega will look over at Nafisa and say, "We clearly can see the agitation present amongst these beings. Is it appropriate for us to correct them in their assumptions?"
Well, I mean, no, but if we want things to work out, we have to talk to them, yeah? I mean, if we stay here all scared, then they're just going to, say words, and then we don't say words at all, and then nothing gets done. But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna be upset that they're, prepared for the worst or anything, but we want you to work with us, and that means working with them, so we need to make it clear that you are no longer a danger, you are a friend.
Well, we are still quite dangerous, but we do not mean anyone here any harm unless absolutely necessary.
But that's, I think, the difference is, I mean, all of us looks around at both the party as well as anyone else in the room. All of us are some kind of dangerous. It's just a matter of who we point that ability at, and as long as it's not allies.
Understood.
Well said.
Sorry, Fug.
No, I was just saying well said.
Gotcha. Yeah, Omega says, "Understood. Then we will proceed to voice our corrections." And they take a step forward. You see all the guards kind of tighten in place, their own weapons, kind of moving in a blocking way, not necessarily aggressively, but definitely blocking further movement forward. Understood. We would like to address the fact that our behavior yesterday, we believe, was unintentional and instinctual. We found that we were reacting to the level of arcane energy present in this environment, and obviously present in the proximity of you two beings. We believe that while this may have triggered an unfortunate result, we have found it enlightening in its own way, as it has opened our perspectives to potential solutions. We believe that there is some sort of relationship between the level of arcane energy and what we can potentially gain access to into gaining further information about ourselves. While this was an unfortunate approach, we believe that it can be appropriately applied to different situations. And we could tell from the nature of what our companions have told us about why they were present at us in the first place, and why they have brought us here, that there is a degree of mistrust and uncertainty regarding what this organization is intending to do with us in the future. We believe that we can gain insight on this if given the appropriate resources. Pause for a moment. Just, is anyone in the party going to say anything?
I can't think of anything to say in the immediate.
It's a lot of words to process. I'm sorry.
Too many words. Too many words. I just have to channel my inner Zenobia whenever Omega talks.
I think what they're trying to say is that there's a lot to be learned about everything in the world. And I think they want to be, at least to explore it in a safe way.
We do not believe that we need unnecessary tourism in order to be able to achieve our objectives, but we do believe that if we are given access to the ley line network across this world, we can potentially be able to discern our purpose. We just simply need means to be able to access it.
DM,
Yes.
is the ley line network, is that something that's common knowledge?
Make Arcana checks.
Okay.
Ooh,
Can I
okay.
make history? Raises.
No, this is actually an Arcana thing.
Alright.
Soleil actually has some info about
God
this,
damn
just
it.
automatically.
Oh,
Yeah,
Ooh.
in a shocking
know
turn of
things.
events. Soleil knows stuff.
Let's go, Soleil. Roll better than me.
So Soleil
wow.
and Feng Tian know. Ley lines are basically like veins of planar energy that exist in most worlds. Most material planes have them. They are connected to the planes that are, in relation to the material plane itself. Generally, things like the Fae can use ley line intensive areas to be able to manifest in their true forms and true power sets longer than they would otherwise just by entering the material plane normally. So a lot of ley lines coincide with various planar gateways and access points. You could reasonably conclude that the portal that brought you to Nexus in the first place probably was at least close to one of the ley lines in Erixia. So they're basically veins of planar energy that flow through the planet.
Can we find them with unnecessary tourism finger touches?
The dragons kind of stare at this for a moment. We believe we are missing the point of what the relevance of any of this is to us. Omega says, to put it simply, for the uninformed, these ley lines would give us the ability to potentially find the vaults of our creators' relevant information pertaining to our creation, and perhaps to our purpose. If we are able to discern the purpose for which we are here, we could be able to reconstruct and reverse engineer perhaps the reason why your enemies are trying to utilize us in some way. For that is the only logical conclusion as to why they have decided to look into us and establish at least some sort of operational base around where we reside.
That sounds like something y'all would be interested in, I think.
Makes sense to me. Why get a super weapon if you don't know what it's for?
Nafisa Fengtian.
I mean, I guess that's the important part for you, Lady Celeste and Lady Stella. You could send us to places that have these ley lines. We do work there. We find ley lines. We get knowledge and job and very necessary tourism.
I would certainly hope that you would see the value, if in nothing else, preventing NexCor from acquiring such things themselves.
Lady Celeste says, if our divinations and information is correct, then NexCor is clearly acting with its own malign intent. From what was indicated to us, the Sapphire Sea is a dormant region, apparently, in relation to this thing. It seems like it would be useless without it, but here we are. Lady Stella will say, perhaps it would be relevant to have them investigate some of this while our other agents are operating for additional avenues. Zelik, notify Captain Stormsmite. They will report to the Durandal shortly. They are to direct her services in pursuing this until we believe that they are failing or that it is a futile endeavor. And Zelik kind of bows deeply.
Of course, of course. Yes, my ladies.
They will eye you guys and their big 9-foot, draconic lady selves as they look down at you all, and with that, unblinking glare. Any additional things that we need to know?
I don't believe so.
Nothing I can think of out of character.
There's a ship?
Lady Celeste goes, yes, there is a vessel that some of our operatives use for purposes, and it can be repurposed for this objective. It is seemingly a worthwhile use of such a considerable investment in resources that should not be forgotten. As she looks at you guys.
Oh no! Of course we wouldn't forget it. Nothing like that.
Wait, you said for the man, you're lending us a ship to manage for our travels for your work.
Yes, it should be able to take you where you need to go, and while of course it is not your ship, it is our ship, it will be able to transport you in furthering this particular mission.
Okay, we will take very good care of it, and when you take it back, it will be very pretty and nice. He's his head just like racking with like, oh, I have all these dumb drawings of things to put on a ship. Now I have a ship to put them on.
Zelik will handle the logistics of this. Is there anything else that requires our attention from you?
Oh, I was wondering, it's kind of a silly question. How is Lunas doing? We haven't seen him in a while.
They actually do a blink. And Lady Stella says, our son is currently doing important work with his companion.
I kind of want to insight check that companion remark.
Make an
because it
insight
sounded
check.
like you were gonna say handler.
Make an insight check.
That's a
that
natural
one.
Get
It's
it out of the way early, folks.
Yep, it's his companion, is his
Oh my
faithful
gosh,
bard.
he has a romance partner.
Yep.
Romance
Lunas,
partner.
Yeah, you did
companion
see a
is-
little chemistry between that goblin and him.
Yeah, I'm writing in my notes, DM, that I'm actually Nafisa will treat the handler like they're Lunas's bestie.
Excellent, excellent.
Okay, that's good to hear. I hope he, gets a break soon to come spend time with his family and see us again. But yeah,
As do we, but we understand what he does is important.
There's something
No,
I
go ahead.
wanted to bring up with you, but I think it'd probably be best for it to just be, well, for my other companions to leave.
Well then, anything from the rest of you before you're dismissed?
No, I think I'm good. Soleil, Fang, Omega, you pretty good?
Oh no, thank you
Uh,
kindly.
I cannot think of anything at this moment.
We believe we have
Okay,
agitated them enough.
Mhm. Well, I mean, agitation's a step up from before. Soon, who knows? They'll be like our besties soon. Anyways, Aurora, we'll wait outside for you while we talk to Zelek and logistics and ship.
Right. It's nothing to worry about. It's something I told you folks on the way back. I just want to give them
Mhm.
a heads up.
Okay.
Okay.
The guards will, shuffle Omega out, and they will depart. And it'll be just Aurora and the Dragon Moms.
All right. I think Aurora would just kind of just like take a second, probably very intimidated by these women that are 5 feet tall, or more than double her height. Just so I kind of let at least the party know, but I'm trying to be a bit more open about this, especially considering you are investing in our futures, or at least our futures in terms of how it benefits you. But the I'm not sure if you even already know this, but I she'll hold up her left hand. I do have a pact with the Raven Queen, and I don't, if that contradicts anything that you folks are looking to achieve, I understand if you would like to relieve me of my service, but I just wanted to try and be a bit more open about that.
Lady Celeste. Oh, sorry, you
Oh,
go.
she'll just add in just like it's nothing like that crazy. She taught me how to draw, well, better. um, so it's a very minor pact, but I suppose conflict of interest potentially, if how these things kind of go. So yeah.
Uh, Lady Celeste is about to say something when Lady Stella will kind of just put a little hand on her arm and then walk forward to look down at you. And as she stands in front of you, and you just feel that like real migraine pressure behind your eyes of just the sheer amount of arcane energy exuding off of her, she looks down at you and says, "Do you believe that your pact will run contrary to us or our objectives?"
I cannot imagine that it would. It's simply, she taught me how to draw to the level that I can, and in exchange, I give her paintings every now and then. It's very simple. I don't know how powerful beings interact. And I, maybe it's wrong of me to say this, but it seemed like I felt something kind of related to her, the Raven Queen's power, um, with the mission before the last one. And I don't know, I thought folks would want to know slash already know. just to be open.
We could taste your pact with her the moment we met you. But she knows her place in such things, and should not prove to be an impediment. However, one word of advice. It is rarely such a simple exchange. And she'll turn and walk back to stand next to her mate.
Right. Then, judging by your knowing from the very start, which doesn't surprise me in the slightest, there's, I do have a familiar, essentially, that follows me around. So, yeah. She's my shadow.
We see that. It's enlightening to know that that energy isn't simply the Queen's boon upon you, but as long as it acts in a way non-contradictory to us, it can continue to exist upon your person while you work for us.
Right, and
Otherwise, we will remove you of such a burden.
Of course. No, I mean, I understand the worry. I've been lectured many times about the dangers of these kinds of things and the potential pitfalls and such. It's just art. There's nothing more to this pact. It's just art.
So be it. You can rest assured that we feel no reason to take punitive action against you or to remove you from our employ at this time.
That's good. Thank you. Thank you both. She'll just do like a curtsy. Say, I will excuse myself then.
Excellent. And as you walk away, Stella goes and holds Celeste's hand and raises it to her lips and gives it a kiss before they walk out of this grand meeting room. And the doors open in front of you automatically and close behind you.
Is the party members in a further place down another part of the estate at this point?
Sure, we'll do a little brief thing of them for a moment.
Okay.
As Zelik is walking by, everybody can make insight checks, please. Everyone except Aurora, obviously.
Yes, DM.
Alright.
Natural 20. Give
Hell
me your
yeah.
backstory.
Ah,
Bug with the natural 1.
The dichotomy.
it hurts so much more when it's a professional
Oh! Soleil with a nat 1.
I am.
What
Don't worry,
a
guys. Nafisa's really into the boat.
what a block.
Dead empty. I don't see nothing. I don't know nothing.
So this is, thankfully of all the things to insight, this is comparatively minor, but
Oh.
you do see as you're walking away, the dragonborn, like fancier dragonborn will turn to Zelik and say, "All right, so it doesn't seem like we're specifically needed anymore, considering that the meeting with our mistresses is over. So, if we have your leave, my lady, I can deploy my men elsewhere." And you notice that this dragonborn gives her like a real fangy smile, and you notice that Zelik's tail is swishing ever so slightly, which you're a dragonborn. You know that that's generally like an emotive sign of, kind of like a girl squirming kind of thing, as a way of conveying emotions. And she looks up at him and goes,
All right, Captain Sarek, then I think you are going to be dismissed until I need you again.
and he bows deeply. He's good. He's a good like 6.5 feet tall. Over her little, 3.5 feet tall, and he bows deeply and walks away. And you notice that as he leaves, he definitely checks out Zelik, and you notice that Zelik, as she's walking away, definitely kind of, sachets her hips a bit more. But that was all the insight you got. There's clearly sexual tension between these two people based on your nat 20.
Okay, I need to ask this for a bit that I hope comes to realization either this session or next session. DM, just off the nat 20, can I tell if they fucked?
Yes, they have definitely fucked before.
Got it.
This is important lore.
Yes, this is the real
Premarital,
lore.
mhm.
Yeah, Captain Sarek,
Premarital, unprofessional.
Serek, and Major Domo Zelik have definitely fucked many times before.
Hell yeah.
That's what you get for a nat 20. You know that they are very sexually active adults with each other.
It's
Hell
Nafisa is gonna note it in her journal.
So
Guys, I promise this bit's gonna go hard. So,
I believe in you.
So you got important lore there. Definitely worth a nat 20 and everyone else getting that ones. The other two, you guys just think that these two really don't like each other. They're really like abrasive to each other. And like the Dragonborn's kind of an asshole to her.
Wow, what a rude dude. Nothing to read into there.
yeah, and they're not even married yet.
Huh?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to be married to someone to dislike them.
I think that actually says a lot about somebody else's marriage.
Alright.
So yeah, as that you guys will, as you walk over to Zelik's office, Aurora will come clomping along.
I'm just gonna note that Aurora got lost.
Okay.
And she was a little late.
All right. Several kobolds had to direct you here.
Yeah, they found me.
But once you guys are all together, Zelik will make a little arcane gesture, and she says some things in High Draconic, and then shifts back and goes,
All right, I'll be preparing some paperwork for you all to contain various information about where you will be going to access the Durandal, as well as the ability to complete reports for the various expenses you might incur, at least along this first leg of your journey. Do you have a particular location in mind so we can be able to determine the comparative cost of the location?
Let me get my little map out. Okay, guys, where do you feel like going? And I guess Omega, do you know where do any of us know where the ley lines are?
Omega will say, we do not know where specifically any given ley line is located. We do believe if we are able to arrive in a given geographical region, we can be able to have a better sense of deducing where the ley lines are located. For instance, we have a rough idea as to where they are located in this own country, but we do not believe that they will necessarily lead to any relevant locations, at least within here as it stands.
Oh, so we need some of that needless tourism, yeah! Okay. Do you guys have any thoughts? Because I'm personally feeling, this one. She, like, points to Solari.
I've never really been anywhere other than the UFAS and Erixia, so Oh, and now I guess I can add the Revenant Imperium to that. So, if we're going somewhere new, then anywhere but those three is
It
fine
would
with me.
certainly be interesting see uh, to see my family and clan's homeland.
Oh, is that where your family's from?
On my father's side, yes.
Would you want us to see them when we visit? I mean, we don't have to. We could go somewhere else too if this is, not if you want to save it for last. Your big return trip.
Oh, no, that is quite all right.
Okay, but if it gets too much, just let us know. Okay, we'll beat up whatever's making you upset.
Of
Anywhere,
course.
anywhere you want to go, Soleil? She'll just kind of like put an arm on his side and just give him a little pat.
I mean, similar to you, Roar, this whole place is brand new to me, so I'm not the most knowledgeable about where to go, where things are, but I'm happy to explore with y'all.
No further clues on your personal project.
Uh, any place on this map look particularly blue to you?
Ooh.
I
Yeah,
can paint it blue if you like.
No, that's the only clue I got from my grandma last. Something about blue.
Hmm.
Books at Omega.
Not relevant to Omega, I don't think. Otherwise, I feel like something else would have happened.
Okay, then we can go to the Solari Empire next. Would that be okay, Zelek?
Yes, that should be acceptable. We can make sure that things are properly processed for that. Just so you know, it would probably take you a little bit of time to get there, sail across the ocean. We don't know how long you'll be there, but if you could please report back to us, or when you at least arrive, or perhaps when you depart, if absolutely necessary.
Yeah,
Hey.
I can prepare send-in spells for communications.
That would be very useful. Of course, I could check in with you, but without knowing your timetable, it would be, I feel, a bit micromanagey.
Oh, of course. I do gotta go get the spell, but that should be no problem. It's a very common one.
Yes,
In case
we
Aurora... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
should have we should have a bit of shopping ahead of us.
If Aurora is too EP to cast spells, could we use like a radio or something, or a letter?
Well, you could send a letter. It just would probably take a rather considerable amount of time to arrive to us.
If I'm not feeling like I have the energy to cast a send-in spell, then I think a letter will take longer to arrive than me getting my energy back.
That's fair. But in case we need it, is there no alternative, or... I mean, I'm sure a day or two without a message back would be fine. But we need to send full reports on how much we're spending. I mean, that's a lot of words.
No, I mean, it's fine. We can figure it out. I think we'll just take it as it comes.
I'm sure you and Fun could figure out a good alternative too, just in case.
And when in doubt, I have ways of being frugal.
So Zelek, I wanted to ask about this ship we're getting. Can we see it, and also can we furnish it and put things on it? And do we already have a crew? And Nafisa's just gonna keep going on with questions until somebody speaks up.
Zelik will hold up her hand as you start yapping and go,
To be understood, like, the actual management of the ship is left to Captain Stormsmite. It's her discretion for things such as decorating or whatever in it. It should be able to give you enough space to at least have your own personal spaces, but to excuse the pun, she runs a tight ship. Nearly all of the crew are ex-military from the various UFAS navies, so they tend to be a bit particular about such things. But you'll be able to see it. It's actually in the harbor. It has recently returned from one of its own projects another group of operatives was doing.
Oh, okay. Is there anything else we need to do before we go see the ship?
No,
Shopping can wait for after.
not particularly at our end at this point. The ladies have spoken, and they have at least trusted you this far with this particular objective. And if what the thing says is correct, then perhaps this will be fruitful.
Okay. Then is there anything else you guys want to talk about, or should we go see the ship, or we can do shopping first if we need to, Fung?
I think we can wait until everything else is taken care of.
Besides, I'm sure we can do some shopping in the Solari Empire.
Preparation, but yes.
I apologize, my knowledge is a little shaky. What's the... I assume that's just like how it is here, and there's capitals. That's where we would go first, right?
Well, the capital is actually an inland territory, so you'd presumably have to arrive at a port. I'm not really an expert in such things, but I know Captain Stormsmite is, and she'll be able to give you better ideas of the specific logistics of arriving there.
Of course.
All right. Well, here is the prepared information. Here, this should also give you guys sufficiently credentialed passports to leave and arrive as free company members when required. And so she stands over and hands you guys each like sheafs of paper with containing all kinds of bureaucratic nonsense. And
Does it actually have our pictures and names on them?
It actually does not. It simply has the symbol of the Ladies of Light and the
I can do what I want symbol.
Yeah, the kind of carte blanche symbol, but it's telling that you guys are currently a registered free company in employment, and that there are exactly 5 members currently as a part of it.
We don't have a free company name yet, right?
No, you said that you needed more time, so you're currently just operating as the free company currently in employ of the Ladies of Light.
This is going to look up at the group expectantly with their original idea, if they're interested still.
Prism.
Yeah.
Don't have a problem with it.
I mean, this isn't going to be a now thing either. Just being funny, being silly.
Certified
We'll figure one out
sister.
eventually. We have plenty of time on the trip.
Okay. But we're gonna need a cool name for them all to call us, in the stories and songs.
Well, yeah, but I think we're trying to be mostly under wraps for the most part. I don't want people in the streets to be saying our name.
Aurora, do you see us?
Yeah, we do kind of stick out like a sore thumb, don't we?
Yeah.
We got
Signori embrace it a bit.
a small sheep, a giant pink deer tiefling.
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. Whatever, as one might say. And then stone dragonborn girl and a hobgoblin. Sorry, I don't know the others. What all makes you up, John?
Sounds racist when you say it that way.
She has a cool arm.
I am Minotaur on my mother's side.
Goodness, I am
Oh.
so small compared to all of you.
What do you mean small?
You all got a foot on me, pretty much.
Soleil just reaches down and pats your head.
Zelik
Oh,
looking
that's-
up at you as you guys are saying this in her office.
That is mostly the shoes for myself.
Don't patronize me.
Do you want a shoulder ride?
No, not right now.
Uppies?
No, not right now.
Okay, well, I think we're good to go then. Thank you so much, Zelik.
She kind of just shakes her head as she looks at you guys, like having this whole conversation about being short in front of a literal kobold who's shorter than you.
God.
Oh, Zelik, before we go, thank you again for all your help, and please tell the Captain Cedric that we'd like to get to know him as well as you have. He seems to be a good friend.
Her eyes go wide for just the splittest of seconds before she goes,
I don't think that you'll need to deal with that particular gentleman very often, but he can be friendly enough when he is in a particularly good mood.
Nafisa, based on your nat 20 insight, you pick up Zelik is really putting on a front for this right now.
Oh, I see. He can be your bestie. Okay, guys, let's go get out of Zelik's hair. Unless there's anything else you guys want to do.
No, nothing in particular.
Okay. With that, do you guys want to head to the harbor?
Yeah, I think I've got a potential couple of things, but if we're going to try and continue to be stealthy, one thing in particular that I have my eye on. But again, that can wait until after.
Okay.
Or after the docks.
Okay. So, yeah, you can do any ancillary shopping you need for just, like, stuff that's you don't need a particular scene for unless you want it.
I'm putting some new spells on and deducting the gold as it goes.
Okay.
I am wondering how much would it cost to pick up a pair of uncommon wondrous items?
It depends
They're
on what
not
the
on
item
the
is.
list. I will link it to you.
Okay, then I will tell you after stream then.
Sounds good.
There is one thing
shopping
that
for undefined thing. Don't worry.
there's one thing that Soleil is looking for as well. We don't need a scene to purchase it, but at some point, Soleil is gonna want to talk to Nafisa. So.
Ooh, all right. Well, you can do that on the boat if you want.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that, you guys head from the upper spires down to the middle spires, down to the lower spires, and to the docks in the harbor. You notice that this is actually separated from the main harbor area. So there's probably about 3 different areas in this harbor. There's like the main commercial center, which is where most of, I would say probably 70% of the ships come and go from. There is a at least somewhat of a naval base, based on the sprawling urban nature of Venonia. You could say it's almost like a conjoined naval base because it's very much like kind of consumed by the rest of the city around it, where there are numerous Umbrian Navy ships docked of all different sizes. And then you guys are directed to actually the kind of the private slips for the various rich and powerful of the city and free companies and stuff. And in there you see all manner of strange ships, not necessarily strange from different countries, but like strange designs of clearly Federation make and, you know, various levels of resplendence on top of them. But the particular quay that you're being told to go to has this very large, like, military destroyer in it. So it's got, you know, massive, you know, steel sides and these huge like gun batteries of multiple barrels on it, and like there's like a bridge rising above it, and written on the side of it with the symbol of the Ladies of Light is the Durandal. And there is a kind of a what's it called, like a gangway leading from the ship to the to the dock. As you see various people wearing what are white and like navy uniforms, but with very distinctive dark purple and silver like trims and secondary colorings. And they all have these unit badges on their uniforms of the Ladies of Light. And they're just kind of unloading and loading stuff onto it. And standing on the dock currently with two gentlemen is a female dwarf in what Fung and probably to a lesser degree Aurora could identify as what is clearly a fairly high-ranking naval uniform, with the same kind of design aesthetic and Ladies of Light symbol. She's got like the braids that go from like the center of the forehead like and loop down back into the overall like hairstyle. She's got two of those, as well as just like one enormous fucking braid that goes all the way down her back into her waist. And there's like various little like stones, like shaped stones and beads and stuff that are woven into it. And she's got a fair amount of scars on her, and she is currently looking at a what is a Goliath, as well as a orc male, and she is kind of talking to them, and you see them bend down to one knee, and they both put big arms around her and hug her and kiss her as you guys are walking up before she gives them a look, a somewhat lingering hand on them as they back off, and then she looks at you guys with a very stern face as you approach.
Hi, I am Nafisa. We are the free company working under the Ladies of Light, as she's like reading off her passport. I'm sorry, did you need more time with your friends?
They the two gentlemen kind of chuckle to themselves as she very much visibly bristles, and she says, I am aware of who you are, but my husbands do not need to have any more involvement right now, as I am currently dealing with you. I am Captain René Calais de Leon de Clan Stumsmat.
Leon...
Gesundheit.
She glares at you.
I like her name.
I deserve that.
It's just Leonese. It's pretty normal around there.
Mistress Zelik informed me of your imminent arrival and that you are requiring us to take you to the Empire of the Solar Phoenix. Is that correct?
Yes.
So be it. If you would like, I can take you aboard the ship now and introduce you to the relevant crew. If you have anything left that you need to require, now would be the time.
I think I'm ready to meet everybody. Captain Stormsmite, Zelek told us you're on a tight ship. Are there any rules or policies we need to know about, or...?
I will explain in detail the rules to you once you have had a chance to get aboard the vessel.
Are you guys good?
You can believe me that there will be numerous rules, and I will expect a certain level of respect, as she looks up at Soleil, glaring.
Just kind of tilts his head a little bit. Can't read his face at all.
And with that, she says, "Follow me," as she boards the ship. Very much at a very, she's a dwarf, so she's kind of like stomping up to the ship. She's a hill dwarf. It's about 5 feet tall. Very broad. And once you're on the ship itself, you can see the the quite large guns that are built into it. These are very much like, if you looked at like a World War II like naval vessel, those kind of guns and stuff, and dozens of various crewmen going about loading things, preparing things, cleaning things. Lesser officers, giving orders and stuff as she kind of weaves you through all of that, and takes you up into the actual like command bridge area of the ship. And when you arrive up there, as you're on the way there, she will flag down one of the sailors and tell him to go notify the rest of the command staff that the free company operatives are on the ship now and to meet at the bridge. And when you get there, you see that there is a human in also a very fancy military uniform, a tall crocodile-esque lizard folk, and then there's a fourth character that I will describe in further detail in a second. But as you get up there, Captain Stormsmite, kind of turns and goes, "All right, to formally introduce everyone, I am, of course, Captain René Calais de Leon de Stormsmite, and I am the Lord and Master of this vessel. While you are aboard it, you will follow my commands, as I will not only be trying to ensure your own safety, but also that of my crew, and the success of our particular mission. So know that I am not simply being a hard ass because I dislike you," as she looks at Soleil. "I am doing it because it is for the good of discipline and for the ship itself." And now you have been assigned various quarters. They will be individual to each of you. I will have the commander provide you additional information and lead you to them, but that is beyond the current scenario. So first, this is my executive officer, Commander Carl Scaligon, and the human looks at you guys and in a somewhat Oracal accent goes, "It's good to meet you. My name is Carl Scarligan, and I will be most likely your point of contact aboard the ship. If you require anything, it will eventually find its way to me."
Well, thank you for all the help you'll be giving us.
Yeah, kind of gives you guys a little stiff smile. He's probably older. He's probably like in his mid-40s as a human, and he seems to be a bit chiller than the first impression that Soleil has already imposed on Captain Stormsmite.
What do you mean?
Yes. Thank you. And then next we have Lieutenant Ura Dakfing. And she's got like a humanoid style face, but with very clearly the scales of a lizard folk, and some of her like sharp teeth are kind of permanently sticking out of her mouth, much like an actual crocodile. And she's got very much like a kind of dark brown to tan hair that kind of goes in several different like two-tone, three-tone style gradients. Various scales visible in the parts of her body that are not covered by a uniform. And she has a long, thick crocodile ridged tail. And she is a good, she is approximately Soleil height at her 7 feet, quite muscular. She is wearing a different style of uniform than the captain and commander, and she kind of snaps to attention and says, "Yeah, we're Darkfang. I'm the captain of the Marines aboard this ship. Probably won't have to deal with me much, but If you do, it probably means we're under attack, and I will be telling you to not fucking die.
That'll be mighty helpful. Well, we appreciate.
Finish, Aurora.
I was saying we appreciate your skills.
Duly noted.
She kind of does a nod as she eyes you up. Thank you, Lieutenant. And then she takes a deep sigh. And then finally we have our Talon. This is our ferryman Talon, Giacomo Valletta. And you see about a 6-foot-tall male mantis shrimp triton, where he has very blue-green lustrous carapace over parts of his body. He's got 2 really big, kind of like Thrykean, really big arms that are currently positioned holding a runically inscribed oar over his shoulders, just kind of resting it on his shoulders with those 2 huge arms, as a pair of more human-sized clawed arms are across his chest, and he has somewhat slicked back, much like his carapace, that blue green lustrous color, and he's got these enormous, very, very finely faceted eyes that are just like an oil slick, gradient of different colors across them. And he is wearing a black Hawaiian shirt over a bare chest, with little red, what are they called? Plumeria, flowers on them with little gold, pistils coming out of them. And he raises his 2 human arms and gives you guys big waves. He goes, "Yo, welcome! I'm Giacomo. You can call me Jack if you want, man. It's good to meet you guys. I'm not one of the military people. I'm the only other civilian here, so yeah, it's really great to meet some other people. Unless somebody's dying or we're fighting ghosts or something, I basically don't do anything except hang out. So, feel free to, hit me up anytime. I'm always down to shoot the breeze." And he makes a finger guns motion.
Oh my god.
Wait,
Oh my god.
I missed his role, Obs. Could you say it again? I'm sorry.
Talon.
He is the Talon. So he is the representative of the ferryman, the Raven ferryman, whose basic job is to help ferry the souls of anyone who dies aboard the ship at sea, and to help you guys fight ghosts if they come up. That's what Talons do in general, but his is particularly nautical theme for the ship.
I just love to imagine just Aurora hearing I'm the Talon, and she's just oh my god. This is
Does this man just sucker punch ghosts? Just mantis shrimp pow pow ghosts?
I have never met a Talon before. You're my first.
Oh, well, hopefully I'm leaving a good impression, little lady.
Yeah. Which hand do I shake?
Oh, they're all available. All the better to hug with.
She's going to very carefully shake each one.
I like this guy. He's the best person we've met.
He alternates arms holding his oar to give you each one to shake at different times.
Oh, I love him.
So yeah, great to meet you all. Fucking always feel free to hit me up. So yeah, after you, Cap. Captain Stormslight just sighs again. Yes, he is our more eccentric member of our crew. As I like to reiterate, you are still a member of the crew, Mr. Valletta. Yeah, whatever. And she goes, "All right, well, that is all of the command crew. We will have dinner each night at 1800 in the officers' mess. You are, of course, welcome to come eat with us. If you do not, that is your own prerogative. Now, Commander Sculligan will show you to your rooms, and I will begin operations for preparing to set sail. You are dismissed." as the
Yes.
lieutenant kind of salutes to her and walks away, and Giacomo just kind of nods and saunters off, and he hits there's those water lock bulkhead doors, and he's still got his oar across his shoulder, and he basically slams into the door and goes, "Oh, sorry." And he like snaps a finger, and the oar just disappears from his hands, and he walks through it.
Warlock.
Ah,
Commander Scarligan will now look at you all, and would you like me to take you to your rooms?
Yes, and would you mind answering like a bunch of questions that we'll have?
I will do the best to my ability to be able to answer your questions.
Alright. I know she's gonna repeat the same shit she was doing to Zelig. So if we want furniture, how do we go about that? Can we put plants on the ship? Can we put little flags?
Well, as he takes you through the ship, through the various bulkheads to get to, basically below deck where your actual rooms are, he shows you your room, and all the rooms are identical at base, and they're about a 10-foot wide room with a fold-out bed, like built into the wall, which is going to be very inconvenient to Soleil. And then there is like a small fold-out desk area with a chair, and then there is like a bathroom, and that is the extent of your personal space. And he goes, it should be known that you should not perform any permanent alterations to the ship itself, but you're welcome to hang up any personal belongings or decorate your room how you see fit. Obviously, there isn't much in the way of sunlight that works its way down here, so if you can foster a plant, well, then more power to you.
So how long do you think it would take for us to earn the right to change the ship up?
Just pauses for a moment.
Visa. I mean, the ship is for everybody under the services of the ladies.
Tell you what, when we
Not
get
think
our
they
own
would allow
ship, we'll let you decorate it.
Really?
Yes.
Sure.
My
Okay,
name's
so
Soleil.
the first
Empty
thing on my list
promises.
is making Sorry, get that
Sorry,
off.
no, please. I'm just being sassy.
No, you can be sassy to me, DM. You're good.
No, I was just like, it's Soleil with the empty promises.
Hey.
So, like, don't worry. At the top of our list, we're getting your room that's like double the size. Are you gonna be okay in there?
Yeah. It'll
But
be
like,
fine.
it's very tight. Are you and Aurora gonna be able to do, your nightly thing?
A nightly thing?
Is it nightly now?
No.
I
It
mean,
can
it
be.
would.
Oh, she just flashes. It's fine.
Right. Well, what you do amongst yourselves is, of course, your own business. I
I
would
do apologize.
request that you refrain from getting too fraternizational with the rest of the crew, to help maintain discipline. If we require you for anything, of course, we will expect you to comply, but largely we are serving to help take you from point A to point B.
Soleil deflates a little bit.
It's okay, Soleil. I'm sure you could fraternize with friends here. Okay.
Wait.
I guess we settle in.
All right. Well, if you need anything else, you can always flag down somebody to speak to me. You'll be able to hear ship messages over the various intercom and speaker systems throughout the vessel, and you are free as long as it does not impede the actual work or productivity of any of the crew to walk about the ship as you please.
And once again, you have our thanks.
Happy to be of service. And he kind of nods, and with that, he'll leave you guys to your rooms.
Okay, guys. I know this is not to be expected, but maybe one of Solari we can get some nice things. Some good interior design, some good rugs.
Were you really expecting to be able to just walk onto the ship and just be able to, make it our own?
Well, yeah, I mean it's basically what they're doing, right?
No, this isn't our ship.
But if we work hard, if we keep working for them, eventually they might go one day. You know what? We've earned this ship. You can have it, and then we could make it really nice and put cute things everywhere and cute plants.
This ship is probably worth like at least 500,000 credits.
Okay,
I'm also pretty sure that the captain would kick your ass. So
not if they're my
I bet she would.
Not if they're my friend. And also that just means we need to do a job that's worth like 500,000, right?
We're doing jobs that are worth 2,000.
Okay, then we need to step our game up. Maybe the next thing we find is worth 500,000.
Honey, we just essentially accepted a job that does not have a return on investment for us. You do realize we went down, if anything.
She looks so distraught.
don't worry, Nafisa. We'll get you a ship one day. What, like it's hard? Like it'll be fine.
It's really hard.
Also, we most certainly should not settle for just a mundane ship if we're setting goals. Why not shoot for an airship or something?
Oh yeah, now we're talking. Now we're talking.
Y'all are crazy. What the hell?
I mean, Aurora, you want to be big and famous one day, right?
I mean, I guess, but like
big and famous people get airships, Aurora.
That's true. My brother-in-law had an airship. He wrecked a couple, but
he wrecked a couple. How rich is your family?
I never really thought about it.
Oh my god. I don't know about the rest of you, but I was born to a family that basically only had enough for putting food on the table for the most part. So this is a very different experience for me.
I mean, I lived in a rock, so this is all different for me.
Goblin clans are a little larger than a typical family. I feel it unfair of me to compare.
I'm gonna go get my stuff set up and maybe do a little drawing.
Okay, let us know if you need any help.
I'm all right.
Okay.
Okay. So you each have your own room. There is no obligation that you have to stay at your room. Like, if you want to crash with somebody else, just know these are like twin-sized beds. Having been on an actual like U.S. Navy ship, these are very small. So just be aware that
sheep cuddles.
It's hard to, unless she is sleeping on top of you.
I mean, she knows enlarge reduce, so
that only lasts like a minute or so.
I don't.
Oh, really?
No.
She's not a size queen. But
you say that.
I know. But yeah, so you guys can share rooms. You can always go hang out in other people's rooms, though. It's just they have given you your own room. Do with it what you please.
We can't make modifications, but if we fold up the bed and put a nice mattress on the floor, that would really help with the feng shui.
It's only 10 feet wide room. There's only so much of a mattress you can put in there.
What
but you can. You literally can. There is nothing stopping you.
Yeah, what if we just, made one room a group sleep room in the 10-foot room, and then we, convert the other rooms into something that... I don't know. This is hard.
I did not know you were aware of feng shui.
Oh, Professor Jacobs taught me a little bit. I don't really know much. I know open doors are bad. You don't want to feel vulnerable, which is just normal. stuff like that. And I feel very vulnerable in this metal box from the Phoenix Likes Eater.
That is the best way to describe it. It is literally a metal box. You know, some would call it a cell, except there's no bars. This is how the space works on a vessel like this.
Yeah, so you see, Nafisa, that's why you don't want this particular ship. You want something a little more spacious.
I was just really hoping that the ladies were liking us more and more. That's all.
I'm sure they are. They just need time.
Well, this ain't got nothing to do with how much they like us or not.
Okay.
You think because we did 1.5 essentially successful missions for them that they just give us a ship?
No, I guess that's fair.
We did also kind of dampen things with the Omega incident. No offense.
We are not offended. Frankly, the fact that they have given you access to this vessel is already an impressive show of at least some level of faith in your abilities, regardless of our conduct.
Agreed there.
You see, maybe in another 1.5 missions you'll get that ship.
1.5 missions, got it.
I mean, maybe if we do really well on this one.
Okay.
I
I will
don't-
lock in, as they say.
I don't mean to just be a negative Nancy and just, tell you that you're crazy for these dreams, but
Well, yeah, I mean, of course I'm crazy. Dreams are crazy. That's why I want them to come true.
I suppose you're right.
Okay, I think I will make this nice to sleep in and never spend as little time as here as possible.
If it is useful, we find no particular need for our room aside from the time we need to discuss, so you can use it for whatever purposes that you may desire.
It's your room,
Duly
Omega.
noted.
All right. Yeah, so you guys now have some downtime as the ship's getting ready to sail. If there's anything you want to do in this period of time, let me know. Otherwise, we could just fast forward to the ship set and sail.
Yeah, I think Soleil is gonna take an opportunity to chit chat with Nafisa. Yeah. He'll start with like an offer to like help you move around the stuff in your room. If you're really committed to the setting up the feng shui as good as it can be.
Oh, I mean, it's only 10 feet away. There's not much to move. But if you want to come in and like experience what I've done, you can.
Yeah, I mean, I'm admittedly kind of curious to see what you're doing with limited space, time, and resources.
Okay. So like the folded out desk is just permanently out now. There's like something like propping it. Um, the bed and the singular chair have like piles of like cloth that Nafisa has always had while camping out from the Eastern Marches with like various patterns and stuff on them. It's a lot more colorful than it used to look before. And like you can see all of her photos are kind of like any of the photos that aren't in her sketchbook are just taped along the wall, sort of like little window frames to like look out from some sort of distraction. But yeah, it's just about it.
Oh,
Yeah,
this is nice.
yeah, the bed's my favorite part because it doesn't feel like a prison bed anymore. It looks like a pile of clothes, which is much nicer.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, it is an improvement.
I think in Solari I'll need to get a few rugs to put on the walls and floor.
Yeah. You're really kind of beat up about this whole ship thing, aren't you?
Yeah, I thought we were getting somewhere as a group and that we'd have like a big ship and a big base and the name. I mean, I'm not saying that we need the name. Maybe we could just be the free company forever, but I don't know. I feel like we've been growing together and stuff.
I think a name will come with time, I mean, names can always change too. I mean, my folks used to be part of an adventuring group whose name started to make less and less sense the more they adventured together, but the name stuck and they stuck with it. So, but it'll work out.
I hope so.
Well, if it'll cheer you up any, I got you something.
Oh, things. I like things. Nick's like things. What did you get?
Well, I mean, you were kind enough to let me borrow uh Nix's, uh collar, I guess. It's on my arm now, but
So like a charm.
yeah, well, it didn't feel right just taking that from you or you, Nix. And
It's
um
okay. So says Nix looks up at you.
well, I wanted to make it up to you. And so I got you a little something. And he'll take out of like a little bag, a little cloth bag. It's another like long strip of leather. It's very simple, but like very well made. A long strip of leather and like a single little pink gemstone on it. And he is regifting a insignia of claws to make up for the one that you gave him.
Leather with a pink gem
Mm-hmm.
embedded in it.
Mm-hmm.
Soleil, this is so pretty. Where did you get where did you get this? What's the gem is so pretty.
I just went shopping around and I don't know. I thought it was cute. Girls like cute stuff, right?
I like many things. Cute stuff is up there. But thank you, Soleil. Oh, this means so much. It means
Yeah.
Nyx gets to carry a piece of you two wherever she goes. As like Nafisa will sort of wrap it in Nyx's collar.
Nix does the little like dog dance thing where she kind of alternates her feet bopping off the floor and stuff in excitement.
So cute. You like it, Nix?
Yeah, it's really pretty.
And she runs up and starts licking you.
Oh, and he'll give her good scritchies.
Thank you, Soleil. You didn't have to, but it means a lot.
Well, yeah, I mean, you stuck up for me.
Oh yeah, we're the friends.
Yeah, exactly. And friends repay the kindness that their friends give them. So I wanted to do right by you.
Thank you, Soleil. And I hope we will continue doing right by each other for a very long time.
Hmm.
And she'll just hug him. And like,
Oh,
Nafisa doesn't know how to end a hug like this, so she's just like there until
She's
you
latched.
eventually remind her.
yeah. I mean, Soleil's the same, so it's just one really long hug.
We
I
cut
imagine
to
it
the
just
end of
goes
the
on for a
episode
while
6
until like
hours later.
Commander Carl Scarlet Commander Carligan will come by and just like a hem to like get us to move out of the way in the hallway, and that's what we noticed. You're a good
Right.
person, Soleil.
Oh, thank you for saying so.
If you
Doesn't
and her, oh, sorry, go ahead.
it doesn't feel like it sometimes, but I'll keep trying my best.
Whatever path you pick, Soleil, I'm sure it will be the right one. And if you ever need to have like the kissing with Aurora at night, and you need someone to distract the captain, I can do it. Okay?
I mean, to be fair, we're not always, you know, canoodling. It's sometimes it truly is just sleeping.
Oh, okay, okay. She'll make a note of that in her book.
I appreciate
But
Nafisa taking notes on the mating habits of all the characters she's interacting with.
It's imperative. It's imperative.
It's lore.
And I appreciate the offer nonetheless. You'd make a pretty good wingman.
Maybe I'll have wings one day. But yeah.
No shit, really?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm still growing, right? Maybe I could be taller one day. Maybe my little tail will be big. I don't know. Nyx is growing too.
Oh, if you could grow wings, that'd be fucking sick.
We met this one really. She'll like reach into her scrapbook and pull out the photo of the hobgoblin lady that she had met during her
Yes,
organ
the
session.
Diane of Drungdao.
The Diane of Durandal, and just show like the image that she took while flying on a dragon. If I could fly on Nyx like this, it would be so nice.
Is Nyx gonna get that big?
I don't know.
Nyx
I've never
visibly
seen
flexes. Like, yeah.
Damn.
I mean, maybe you. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I don't know a lot about dragons, but I mean, it's hard to picture the final outcome when you're very small.
Yeah, well, I mean, sort of babies, and then babies grow up, right?
You know what? That's fair enough.
Besides, my dad's like really, really big. I'm sure that I'll get some of that.
How old are you, Nafisa?
Like 23, 24?
He just kind of pauses and gives your head a little pat, like, yeah. You'll grow up real big. He's lying through his teeth. Yeah, and you too, Nyx. You'll be a real fearsome stone dragon.
Obviously. Rawr.
She's getting her practice in.
I'll have to get you a new charm to fit you. You'll probably outgrow that one.
It's good idea.
He kind of looks real like smug about it. Yeah.
I'm gonna be big. Yeah. Yeah. I think for now though, I'm going to go onto the deck and take photos of people. If you want to come with.
Yeah, that sounds nice. I'd like to join you.
And I think unless you have anything else you want to talk about, Maris, I think they can just spend the day people watching and learning about all the unnamed all the unnamed crewmates that we have.
Yep, all the other sailors. Yeah, it's a couple hours before the ship is fully ready, and then you hear those super fucking loud ship horns start going as the ship disembarks from the dock and starts sailing out. You hear from talking or from looking at the crewmen and hearing them talk, you hear people mostly from they're generally mostly from Leon, Umbria, or Kalmar. Not many Tyroleans, because Tyrol has a comparatively small coast, isn't really renowned for its naval people. And then only a couple Avalonian or Cassilian. Zero Eisen people here. Not a single German present. But yeah, you hear them all. So you also see a bunch of goblins and stuff, or goblinoids, and everybody seems to be very much just doing ship stuff as you take pictures. When people start noticing you taking pictures, some people will do a little more pose work as they're working. whenever one of their officers or petty officers isn't looking at them directly. But because you are disembarking, most people have to be like busy doing stuff. But you also do see Omega. Omega just kind of meanders around the ship while everything's going on. Just doesn't really say anything. They're just meandering about. They weave around people, as in their body just flows to the parts of the hull. I mean, the parts of hallways that people aren't moving in, which is very unsettling for a lot of the sailors. But you know, they know you guys are working for the dragon, so there's not much they can do about it. But the ship does finally disembark, and you begin to see the looming blue-gray cloud of Vennonia begins to grow ever more distant. That evening, you guys will, 1800 comes around if you guys want to have dinner with the officers. Otherwise, you can grab food kind of whenever you want. So it's kind of if you want to make a scene of that, or just keep it on, and I can just give you a summary of the trip itinerary.
I'd be down to join them for dinner, but I also understand if we want to handwave that or just say it was a dinner. Silly things were said. Captain Storm Smite is regretting her decisions.
I'm also down for joining. So
yeah, I'm definitely going to be taking notes.
Okay.
I think Aurora probably would, but she's probably at her desk in the room, just kind of hyperfixating on a drawing, so someone would need to come and get her to remind her that it's time.
You do hear
the other two are busy hugging.
Yeah, you do hear loud over the ship's speakers shortly before 1800. There's like a musical kind of anthem that plays, which none of you have any idea what it's pertaining to. But sailors and stuff seem to be kind of beforehand. They're rushing to the deck and stuff. And after the speakers do their thing, you then have the time to get ready for dinner in the officers' hall.
So, guys, what do we eat on this ship? Like for dinner, like proper dinner. I've seen things like hardtacks and rations, but
Oh yeah, when you guys meet up for the actual dinner, it's the core command staff plus probably like a couple other tables of like a dozen, 2 dozen or so lesser officers, like ensigns and lieutenants and whatnot. And you guys do sit at the captain's table, where some more like junior sailors are like serving what's pretty decent food for this first trip. As the leaving shore, you guys actually have like steak and like baked potatoes and garlic buttered broccoli and stuff, and it's quite tasty looking comparatively. And
you don't skimp out on dinner, do you, folks?
Captain Stormsmite kind of goes, "It is one of the luxuries of our current employment. It is better fare than you would get in the actual Navy, and besides, it is a special occasion. We like to celebrate the departure from port, and when we get to see our loved ones, and the promise of when we will be able to see them again. And it is simply something to enjoy on this day."
I know you Leonese folks, you've got some mighty fine cuisine over there, so...
She actually does a little bit of a smile. You notice that some of her teeth are replaced by what is probably almost stainless steel looking silver, like not super high quality silver. And she kind of does a little smile and goes, we Leonie's cooking is some of the finest you can find in all of the Federation, but our ship's cooks do a good job of coming close to home for that in that particular way.
I'd say so.
I will have to inquire as to the recipe as a chef and daughter of yet another chef. It seems very worthwhile.
Oh, so you are a chef in addition to being a free company operative. That is quite the what is the first sad hustle?
Mm. Yes, well, I have found that people tend to function better on full stomachs. So I try my best to oblige.
You do see Lieutenant Darkfang is her steak is basically still mooing. And it's partially by virtue of her strength that she's able to just slice through this basically raw muscle and starts. But she does do it as delicately, like as proper as she can with fork and knife. It's just the actual content is much more barbaric than she is.
Soleil is enraptured.
Yeah.
Is Soleil eating a basically raw piece of meat too?
Yeah, and you know what? He was gonna forego silverware just because by usual nature. But as soon as he sees her actually using silverware really well in her own way, he's like, oh right, yeah, and awkwardly picks up his knife and fork.
Omega chimes in. Omega doesn't eat anything. They're just sitting at the table. We are actually surprised you know how to use those.
Well, I mean, my mother taught me. Not that I, paid much attention to etiquette lessons, but she did try, though.
A futile endeavor, although we admire her dedication.
Oh, she'd appreciate you saying so.
I suppose, we did introduce ourselves a bit, but we should probably do a little bit more than just, names for you folks. Considering, I mean, Fung just introduced herself. My name is Aurora. I am, well, to put it simply, I am a painter. And trying to kind of travel in the world, getting inspiration for everything that I got. So that's where I find myself, at least at the moment.
Lieutenant Darkfang will kind of chime up as she blots some blood from her chin. It's one of the downsides of when you're basically your crocodile teeth are always partially sticking out of your mouth. You get a lot more drippage than you might otherwise want.
Hey, still enraptured.
And she'll look over as she takes a sip of some water and says, "Oh, you're a painter? Do you do like cartoons or?"
Oh, I mean, I could, but most of the times you'll find me painting some sort of like landscapes or large scenes portraying lots of different things. I find my focus on folks that need attention brought to their causes.
Oh, so do you draw do you paint like coastal views?
Yeah, no, I've done that before. Yeah.
Oh, that's we'd love to, or I'd love to see. I'm so used to talking as Omega. I'd love to see that sometime. I always enjoy seeing pictures of the sea, and it's always really, really wonderful. I'm sorry, I don't really know how to articulate it well.
No, you're fine. I appreciate your interest. Right now, though, I'm working on a portrait of the Sapphire Sea, um, which is where we were before this. So it may not be a true coastal sea, but at least that's what I've got on hand right now.
Um, Commander Scarligan will kind of chime in and go, "Oh, the Sapphire Sea. I heard that it is a very dangerous place. I've obviously never been myself and never met anybody who has, but it seems that you at least have some capability to be able to make it out of there."
Oh, it's horrifying. I think we can all vouch for that.
Oh,
But
no, Aurora. There's a story here. You have to. This is the part where everyone's eating and drinking, and then you have to regale them with a story. You have to tell them, make it all good and fancy.
uh,
You can't just
I
say
per-
a place was scary. Why
no,
was
no.
it scary?
You're not wrong, Nafisa. I just prefer to generally let my art be the one to tell the story. If you want to enrapture the public, then by all means.
What is our art?
You're not wrong. It just ain't my specialty to be telling stories.
I think you could tell a good story, but go on
I
before to regale everyone.
I believe me, there's art in everything that we do. I know plenty of folks that colored with crayons to the highest level I've ever seen back at the art university in Lyons. It was an amazing bunch of people there. Immaculate craftsmen.
My son draws with crayons.
Oh,
He's quite good.
that's wonderful. Any way to express yourself that feels natural to you is a wonderful thing.
Lieutenant Darkfang kind of goes, "Oh well, I don't really have any talents besides the battlefield."
Now, hold on now. My father would argue that that itself is also an art.
Well,
I'm Soleil, by the way. I'm the hunter of the party.
oh, I heard a bit about you. She kind of glances over at Captain Stormsmite. Um, I assume that she kind of looks you up and down. That your father was a warrior then?
Most certainly so.
Was he a
Held
soldier?
him in very high. He was, for a time, a soldier, a mercenary, a adventurer of the highest caliber.
Oh, then that is good lineage. Have you served? Well, I don't believe that we were told any of you were prior service.
Ah. Not in the way that I believe you're thinking, ma'am. No.
So be it. It's good to know. You know that Lieutenant Darfing's actually kind of awkward when it comes to talking. And as she goes quiet for a bit, Omega just pipes up and goes, "If you wish to know more about the Sapphire Sea, we attempted to kill them, but we failed, and now we are here." That is a tapestry of words.
Yeah, that's real good, Omega. That's a very succinct way of putting that that adventure together.
These are like narrowing her eyes at the group.
I think
Would not be exaggeration to say that within our company, within our group, It is as though the sea itself lives yet with us.
That is quite the claim.
So there we were. We taken a new quest from the ladies of light, and I could go on and soliloquy and speak all fancily to recap the adventure, but that is what I'll just say that's what Nafisa does. Tapping her feet on the floor in a ominous manner, describing their dangerous journey to conquer the Sapphire Sea, and despite departing to slay the Leviathan, they had befriended it, and that it was truly the greatest reward of that adventure.
Aw, the real reward was the friends you made along the way.
Guys, we are getting some bomb-ass bardic poems about our party, okay? I swear to God.
That is quite the story, Miss Nafisa.
And we are going to make many more, so if you stick with us, you two will be part of big fancy legends.
You're right. Yeah, we shall see how that unfolds.
You sound skeptical, my friend.
She just kinda looks over and says, I have been around a long time, and I have served in the Navy for much of my life, and now in the employ of the Ladies of Light, and I can assure that, well, it is often a pursuit of glory and glamour that all too often too many brave and aspiring souls do not get to see the end of their story in quite the same level of gloss as they may have when they had first started their journey.
An understandable concern, but I fear that, as absurd as it may sound, we simply cannot allow death to take us so quickly and so simply. I know, I'm sure you have heard that many a time, I swear, but it is simply a matter of course that we cannot die yet. We still have work to do.
Giacomo pipes in and goes, don't worry, I got my eyes on you if death tries to sneak up on you guys. Ready and prepared. He does the, two of his big claw hand fingers do the, point towards his eyes, points at each of you.
My deep thanks. Giacomo, you are, I must say, not someone I was expecting to see so readily on such a trip as this.
Oh, it's not a huge deal, I kind of stumbled into this work, really. I went to university, got my MBA, I was an investment banker for a couple years, and then one day I came into work and I saw that the current futures market was down 0.0025%. And I don't know, man, it just fucking hit me, and I just had a nervous breakdown at work. And so when I woke up in the hospital, I got told I was fired, and I saw it as a sign, man. Maybe I needed a different slot in life. So I took my severance and I traveled around for a while, and then I was I fucking like boats. Why don't I go hang out on a boat? And I saw that they're always up for having more talons to serve on these things. It's supposedly an easy job, so I signed up. I did some tours with some other ships. It was pretty cool. Made some few creds left and right, and then I was like, yo, I did such a great job. And then I got fucking headhunted by this little by a little kobold girl to be put on here. And I've been here now. What's it been, fucking 5 years? Wow, time really does fly.
I must admit, I was not expecting the, how would you put it, the onboarding process of becoming such a existentially important position to be so smooth?
Is that pardon me for asking, but considering your job, I assume you would have had contact with the Raven Queen at some point. Sounds like you kind of just signed up for it like it was any regular position.
Oh, no. I've never met the big RQ. Like, when you're like a talent, you make your contract and it connects you to your Raven. So I never met the ferryman. Like, it's fucking, there's a big ocean out there, lady. But like, we're real diluted. So, mostly it's just, we get our powers, we do our job, and, we keep people safe. Gotta keep the souls flowing, the eternal cycle going.
So you are...
Indeed.
Oh, please go on.
I was just saying, indeed.
So you are... If my education does not fail me, it is something of a more than lifelong position, isn't it?
No, like, maybe for the big R, but like, as a talent, you can end your contract at any time. You lose all your powers and stuff, but like, it's a job people got to do, like,
I like to imagine Aurora just kind of like leans back in her chair and just like nudges Nethris, like, are you hearing this shit?
Quite. So, maybe I'll wait long enough to get like a pension or something, but like, I'm not like a death beyond service kind of guy. I'm more like, why don't we serve until I don't need to anymore? And, maybe retirement is in my future. Maybe it's not, man. That's just how the waves fucking crash.
I see.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around the fact how you lost your job because of numbers.
Let me tell you this, big man. Like, when you are managing a 50,000 federal credit account that is supporting 2,000 like different paid employees' jobs, and you see the market begin to decline, and the projections that it has on future earnings leads to those people getting laid off, losing their pensions, and winding up on the street, like, trust me, that shit can get to you if you're not a fucking sociopath. But most of my people I worked with were. Yeah, it was really, I guess it was a professional failing by me that I actually gave a shit.
Yeah, often
Wow.
here with jobs like that, you kind of gotta learn how to not care about
A
anything that's
dangerous
going on.
profession. Certainly.
Numbers can decide all that?
Oh yeah.
I
Oh,
hate
yes.
numbers.
The fuck's
It's-
up with your plane? This sucks.
It is something my father has spent many, many, many years of his life studying now. The smallest things as numbers, even a mere 0, can portend terribly, terribly on the fate one way or the other of empires.
Soleil's just sitting here and thinking, like, damn, and people think Fae are the parasites.
Hold on. You gotta overgeneralizing the racism there, buddy.
No, that's the capitalist class is the parasites.
Yeah, I would say, which is more of a parasite, Fae or capitalists?
Why
Fae
not
are the
both?
1%.
Yeah, Ura was very much enraptured with, was very much enraptured with Nafisa's story about your adventures. And she's kind of awkward, doesn't know how to talk about it. So Jacobo's just kind of he'll continue to, like, if you are so inclined, he'll continue to talk about absolutely esoteric banking things that are functionally meaningless to everyone here, except maybe somewhat Feng Tian because of her dad.
I think if nothing else, because I feel like her father would be the kind of person that would be so hyper focused on the intersection between the study of history and the study of the economy that he definitely has like published papers. He's had like articles cited with him as a professional resource. Like this is a man who autistically info dumps about numbers at plan get-togethers, and no one's quite sure how to tell him, but he's so enthusiastic you kind of don't want to. This is a very reassuringly home feeling. Long story short.
Gotcha. But yeah, Captain Stormsmite will eventually say, the navigation charts have indicated it will probably take us about 6 days to arrive in the city of Zuhai. It is in the central region of the Solar Empire, and it should act as a sufficient gateway hub to take you wherever you need to go within the country. Give us a chance to stretch our legs and gather some additional supplies and resources.
Zuhai, you say?
Yes, Zuhai.
I see.
Oui, Zuhai. It is the main port of call for when you are trying to access at least the central spoke of the empire, since Ashengard is so nearby. Are you familiar with the city?
Indirectly. Family ties, I suppose, would be the best way to say it.
Good to know. Just to be clear, when you are operating within Zuhai, we will be waiting for you to finish whatever you need to do, but it is not within our scope of responsibilities to provide any other forms of direct assistance while you are carrying out the lady's particular tasks.
If there is anything we need to reach out to you for, like obviously I know you said not to, that you can't help us directly, but like for example, if we have to give you updates as well, would a sending spell be enough, or?
As long as we are able to hear from you if you have anything that you would like us to know. In the absence of any other direct information, we would stay in part until we radio back to Zelik and she informs us if we may safely return, as you are very likely no longer operational for our purposes and our mission will be complete.
I see.
All right. Are there any other questions, comments, or things you'd like to say at dinner?
Nothing I can think of.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, Nafisa?
Sorry. As a quick aside, I would want to see each of the commanders' rooms if they would be open to it.
The only ones would be Lieutenant Darkfang and Giacomo. Those are the only two that would be open to it.
If they're okay with it.
Captain Stormsmite would definitely say no. Just flat out no. And Commander Scarligan would also say no, he doesn't believe it'd be appropriate or anything you need to see.
Hey, alright. For the two rooms that we do see, are they about the same quality as ours?
They are functionally. Yeah. Jacobo's is the same like size as yours and everything. Lieutenant Darkfang's is a bit bigger, but it's also at a different part of the ship. It's closer to the berths where the crew stay, and particularly the marine berth. Um, so, uh, but yeah, Jacobo's the same, but it is lavishly decorated. This man has strung up so much stuff in there. You see, like he set up like a mini bar. He's got like things hanging from the ceiling that are like on little pulley systems that he can lower to himself, which is partially easier because he has so many arms. And he's got like a little radio playing music and stuff. You notice that there is a double-necked guitar in the corner, and like he's just got a very like much of a like a college dorm kind of thing for Giacomo. While Lieutenant Darkfangs it's very very orderly, like very neat. You see that she has like a weapons rack in there, an armor rack as well, and she actually has just as you look at it briefly, she has a stack of comic books. Like she has a couple stacks of comic books in various parts arranged in her room, like in a bookcase area next to like naval tactics and marine small unit maneuvers books and stuff. But that's their rooms. They're fairly ordinary aside from that.
Got you. All right, note that comic book thing for later. All right, thank you, DM.
Okay. With that, you guys can go to sleep unless you want to do or say anything before bed.
Good here.
Think of anything in particular. Like, I guess I would be. You know what? I'm kind of curious to check in on Aurora because I'm just curious how the drawing's going, if nothing else, from one hyperfixator to another.
Sure. So I imagine we don't really have much in the way of like privacy for the rooms.
You've got doors, like
There's doors, yeah.
Yeah, there's bulkhead doors.
Yeah, she probably. Honestly, she knows she's strong enough to close the door on her own, but she's got 10 strength. It's not a negative one. But she'll just probably have the door closed for the most part, just to try and drown out any of the outside noise. And it's just in her room, just working away at the desk.
I will say one of the things that's interesting to get used to is, yeah, you're drowning out a bit of the outside noise, but there is a level of internal sounds that kind of permeate through the walls and everything. Just sounds of the ship, like engines, pumping. You get that kind of rhythmic, like tapping feeling and sounds, and the buzz of electrical wires, in the walls. And so there's always this like ambient kind of staticky noises, but you don't hear as much like voices and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I imagine this is something she's kind of just like is mostly, as you said, ambient for her, just completely in the background. She's not paying any attention to them. They're almost relaxing in a way.
Okay. And Fung, I guess you can knock on her door if you want.
All right, Fung, take your time.
I knocked. I guess the noise.
Oh, it didn't come through?
All right.
Thunk.
Oh, 1 second. She'll just kind of get up quickly and then just go over to the door and just kind of. You hear her definitely struggle as she goes to turn the door open, and then just opens up like, "Oh, hey, Funk."
Hello. I was wondering how exactly your artwork was going. I remember you said you had been working on something, and from one obsessive creative to another, I was curious as to how it has been.
Yeah. she looks around. She's like, "Oh God, there's not really much in the way of seats, other than the one for the things." Yeah. So you can take the chair, no problem. I can kind of show you. Are you doing all right?
Oh, yes, I believe so. I have not interrogated any of my thoughts lately, but I feel well enough, I suppose.
That's all right. No worries. And then kind of just gestures you for you to take the seat, and then she'll and you see on the desk is this portrait that she's been working on of the Sapphire Sea. But what's unusual is you don't see anything in the way of paintbrushes at the moment. Um, the painting itself is, for the most part, quite finished. The thing that seems to be missing is that same sort of like animation that she tends to apply to these kinds of artwork. So she'll just kind of take things as now for this one. I took a while to paint the landscape of the Sapphire Sea with all the brilliant colors I have on hand, as well as the backgrounds and everything. But at least for the finishing touches, it kind of dives in a little bit into the more of the arcane side of things. This is where my magic abilities come through. So there's sort of like, I'm sure you can see, just like, at least for now, I've been imbuing a little bit of the shimmering effect of the blue sand into it. So depending on how the light hits it, it kind of refracts and reflects a little bit of the surroundings. So you can see in this section here, and she just continues to go on about how the painting kind of works. And she says, but still a good bit of work to do. I think I'm hoping to be able to add a little bit extra to this, but that's at least where it is for now.
Oh, this is splendid. I, I'm. My apologies. I'm used to working with some who do not treat their craft as an art, so I'm
I,
a touch out of practice, but this is truly gorgeous.
well, I assure you that no matter what kind of art we are talking about, I would love to talk about it and love to share any wealth of appreciation for it.
Is that so?
Well, I mean, I suppose I do have some things I find quite ugly, but it's it's a little bit more so the subject than it is the craft, if you will.
Hmm. I believe I follow.
Yeah, I mean, I just well, I'm sure you understand. But I guess to explain a little bit, just you won't find me painting portraits of any rich person or their achievements. That's not what I do, and I fucking hate those things.
Art that the artist doesn't care for isn't much of anything.
Exactly. Right.
I I have not discussed this much, but I must confess uh, there is another artist that I have been following throughout all of this, and while I'm still working on my own craft, I'm afraid I haven't much to show for that beyond some simple harmonic frequency adjustments and touches here and there of synthesized music. I must admit, I am somewhat sheepish to share something of this particular ilk with anyone.
You know, I've got
But
to ask if that pun was intentional.
There's a smile. Would that I could claim such effortless wordplay. No, this is something of a passion of mine that I have not shared perhaps as much as I could or should with those that I am trying to better trust. But this is, as you find in your own way, the muse in the people and the places that make you feel in-tuned, connected to the your own roots and where you strive to grow to. So too is this for me. And she takes out a very precisely tuned object. It has been modified to be far more condensed and probably a lot heavier than it should be, but it is a radio that she boots up, and I think that this is when she would try to introduce one of her friends to the perilous Professor Gual.
Oh boy, I got the radio drama.
Okay.
But yes, it is a radio drama. It is melodramatic. It is cheesy. It is campy. But you can see that throughout it, she's listening to it with a kind of reverence, not in like a spiritual sense, but in the sense of just this is something that comes across as very sincere for her. And I think she's trying to purposefully not let herself think too much of what her friend is or isn't thinking of this until probably the first time they break for advertisements for whatever the Nexus equivalent of cigarettes are.
Cigarettes.
Yeah. Fantasy cigarettes.
Laced with Nexite.
Ooh, I always like to end my workday with a nice, refreshingly smooth Incubus cigarette. They say it's good enough to seduce the most wary soul. That's flavor.
It's a colorful advertisement, to be sure.
Certainly, I try not to listen too greatly to the advertisements, though I must confess some of them are surprisingly well written for Corporate schlock.
Corporate schlock, indeed. That was good. I have had a lot of experiences, at least going to theaters in Lyons at the very least. But sometimes that kind of cheesy thing is just so enjoyable, so fun, and so freeing to listen to. Like, it just, I don't know, it just reminds me of a simpler time in a way. I love that.
I find there to be something powerful in its own right, being able to being able to give someone the means to understand why they struggle, or at the very least, something to look for guidance, for instruction, for something,
For
for a
hope.
reason. Yes, for hope.
I think that's mighty admirable. I've been feeling at least a little bit like, well, at least today, that I've been, well, bit of a negative influence here. That,
How so?
well, I mean, I guess quite simply, just underneath my positive and bubbly exterior, I'm quite cynical. The world has made sure of that. So, next to folks like yourself and Nafisa, both have so much hope for the world. I think it does me good, even if I may push back. I think I
I
should let that feeling take me a bit more.
I hope it does. I I cannot say what should be the proper course of action for your day-to-day life, but
I've got no freaking idea either. So if you figure that out and you can let me know, I'd appreciate it.
of course, I I must confess I apologize if I gave you the impression that I have the faintest idea how to maintain a sense of hope.
I mean,
Um,
you're the kind of person that would just go out of their way to give us all presents just out of the good of your heart. And I mean, you talk big and grandiose dreams about the future. When if that's the dream you have for the future, you gotta at least have some bit of hope. Some bit of hope that you hold real strong too. Am I wrong?
I do not think you are wrong. I am. I suppose I am simply unsure how to answer.
Hey, Fung. She's gonna kind of take your. Is Fung looking down, by the way? Just is she avoiding eye contact during this conversation?
Um, I think there's definitely parts that she's kind of looking parallel to this conversation, but not directly at.
Yeah. If Aurora sees that, especially in this moment, she would grab her chin and just kind of redirect it to look at her. Just eyes on me, girl. You don't have to be embarrassed about your feelings. There's nothing embarrassing about saying what you want.
And do you know what it is that you want as well?
Hell no.
Mm.
I don't think I have the slightest idea of what I want. You know, me and Nafisa just the other day we were talking about, oh, would 5-year-old Aurora be proud of me, who I am today? And my answer was, I have no fucking idea. But
Well, you are a different person now than you were 5 years ago, much less 1 year ago, much less perhaps even a day ago.
that's right. So, I guess maybe I should follow my own advice a little bit too. But I don't know. And she lets go of Feng's chin and just kind of puts her hand on the table and just kind of looks directly at Feng and just says, I guess it's just something that we gotta figure out, and we'll figure it out all together. And I can see, I mean, I know the two of us are quite different, but you have a passion hidden underneath that shy exterior, I can tell. Am I wrong?
Well, I
Grabs her chin again. Am I wrong?
You're quite forceful when you want to be. I'm
Mm-hmm.
starting to see what it was that Soleil finds in you.
You're not far from the truth, dear.
But no, you are not wrong, even if I am not yet certain of what exactly it means to be passionate.
I think you
It is
do,
a,
though.
it is a difficult thing in goblinoid society to have something that makes your life feel worth it. That is not what you are expected or asked to have as a central focus of your life.
See, but here's the
But
thing, if I
yes,
may.
these two.
You've only put it on a few times. But when you wear that mask, you know what you want. You seem very confident about it. So I think, even though, yeah, you got a lot of thoughts swirling in your head, there's a part of you that does feel confident. We just gotta get that girl out here. And I understand that cultures may be different, but you're not beholden to that. You're beholden only to yourself when it comes down to it.
I understand that, but there are still things that require me to work within the framework of my culture, not out of necessity, but out of choice. There's a man who I feel I can say without exaggeration saved my life in several ways. And that is also a man who, by the society that we both find ourselves some part of, someone who has been condemned to a existence cut off from anyone or anything else in the past, present, or future. I simply cannot abide by something so unreasonable as that.
Fair enough. I won't try and talk you out of that feeling. Sounds like it's important to you. Hey. You can always talk to me, you know? She just kind of like looks at you very much like, just with a little twinkle in her eyes. Says, it's nice. Okay?
I'm glad.
She'll just kind of lean up and kiss you on the cheek. Just say, feeling better now?
I was not expecting you to be quite so forward, but I suppose.
Oh, I suppose that was. If that's not okay with you, then I'll correct that in the future.
No, it is not unwelcome. It is merely a matter of when one does not see yourself as an object of desire for someone, it can be rather jarring when presented with intimacy to the contrary.
Is Fung looking away as she says that?
I mean, I think I was actively kind of looking off during that, so I think I have to say yeah, probably. Look, I gotta be honest to the character.
Aurora would definitely grab your chin again and just look at you in the eyes and just kind of flutter her eyes a bit and says, well, you are very beautiful, Fung. Don't forget that.
I try not to forget new information.
New information? Darling, you are so beautiful and attractive. It's really not fair.
Hmm.
Hey,
Oh.
you want some time to process that, girl?
Well, when an attractive woman says that you are also an attractive woman, I suppose that is something that does require a bit of processing. After all, have you seen how wide and childbearing your hips are?
Oh, please don't bring that up. I'm very aware of my assets. Thank you very much. I use them to my advantage.
But yes, I thank you for that.
Of course. Now go and get to bed. I'll let you process that information. I know you'll need some time.
Very well. You see sort of a wordless nod, good night, and heads off.
All right then, fucking Aurora the Rizzler. So yeah, the rest of the night will go by uneventfully for everyone. You guys are woken up bright and early as the ship's speaker system starts playing. It's not quite Reveille, but it is a Reveille equivalent for this naval vessel. You know, if you don't know what Reveille is, that trumpet that's like Yeah, that. But it's like that over the speaker system throughout the ship. So you all are jarred awake from that. Which you could, of course, choose to go back to sleep afterwards. You hear the, the stomping of feet and stuff as sailors are going above deck and stuff. But aside from that, it's a 6-day journey to Zuhai. If anyone has anything they'd like to do or say along that journey, let me know. Otherwise, we could just fast forward to you arriving at the city.
Can't think of anything.
Put us through the loading screen, DM.
Okay. Yeah, there are miscellaneous things happen over the journey. You see Giacomo sun tanning on the deck in a lawn chair kind of thing. But the overall trip is it's long, pretty boring, and food is less good after that first night. Real like Golden Corral level food. But you do eventually get to the rocky shores of the Solari Empire, and particularly as you approach Zuhai, you see the kaleidoscope of like lights coming off as the sun refracts off of these skyscrapers everywhere, and as you get even closer, the sun begins to set. The entire city gets this beautiful, like red, huge sheen to everything, and you see at the entrance to the harbor are these enormous, like probably 100-foot tall, like black iron wings that are like kind of like flame design looking wings that meet at a large black iron with like red metal like inlays to it, 8-pointed like blazing sun that rises over the harbor, which those of you from the UFAS or have spent enough time in the UFAS, and probably everybody but Slay knows this, that is a very close approximation to the symbol of the Empire of the Solar Phoenix, which is two basically flaming phoenix wings with an 8-pointed sun above it. And it's this enormous, and as the sunset is hitting it, it's like it's casting these red and orange rays of light over incoming ships. And you are now pulling into the port city of Zuhai in the Empire of the Solar Phoenix in the Elemental East. So we will jump in there next time. This is a good place to wrap up the session. So I hope you guys had fun.
Yeah.
Yay.
That was a lot of fun.
These people always flirting. Look at my players, gay as hell.
I wasn't even intending to flirt. What the hell?
You're welcome.
Lily's like, I'm always set to flirt. It's my only setting.
That's the only setting Aurora has. She's poly pan, so she is ready to go.
The DM inspires the best in us, is all I'm saying. Anyways, bets on who's the first crewmate to peg Soleil first.
Hey! I hope it's the crocodile lady.
Talk about
Gotta
comic
make up
books
for
with
that.
her.
Hyena, huh?
But yeah, so thank you everyone for coming by tonight. If you haven't done so already, please give me a follow here on Twitch. Give me a sub over on YouTube, where I have every session of this campaign, as well as every stream I've ever done. You can follow me on Blue Sky, see all my unhinged thoughts and art. And you can join my Discord, the Eternal Citadel, and be a part of my incredible community. I want you all to know you're all beautiful, amazing, and valid people, and I hope you enjoyed spending your evening with us nearly as much as we enjoyed spending it with you. And never forget the most important part, which is the world is better having you in it. That'll be it for tonight. I'll be back here Wednesday afternoon for some more Fallout 4. And then Thursday we'll hopefully I'll be on B's channel for more Deadlands. So come on by, see me be a wacky inbred goth lady. And it should be a lot of fun. So let's go raid. We're gonna raid my tiefling. So if you are a follower, please copy down the call to hugs. If you're a sub, please copy down the knight's message. Also, I linked the exclamation point players, which has the Twitches and stuff of all my wonderful players. Go send them love. Go follow their shenanigans. At one point, I will update Lily's to be for YouTube for Mistwalkers, but I am too lazy to do it. So here we are.
You're fine.
But that will be it. They're all great people. Like everyone here has a campaign in some way, shape, or form. So you can all see some wacky shenanigans and all of these wonderful players being DMs or more wonderful playing. We're gonna raid my friend Callie. She's playing Monster Hunter Wilds. Her new model, by the way, looks awesome. It's by the same guy who did Litro's Fem model. and Azura's. So he's been fucking busy pumping out these models of people I'm adjacent to. So let's go send her some love. She's a good bean, also gay, also trans, also cute. So I will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.